another lick of the day. So we've been doing a lot of Hendrixisms, double stops, and so. Oh, by the way, I'm Brett Papa. If you're new, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. I post all the time stuff just like this. So, anyways, we've been doing Hendrix type stuff, double stops. You know, I say Hendrix, but I just, double stops is big. It's R&B, it's country, it's everything. But they're awesome, and I'm a Hendrixonian, if there is such a word. That's who really got me into double stops. Now, you can do double stops in both rhythm and a lead. And in the previous lick of the days, we've been doing major rhythm double stops. We've been doing major soloing double stops. And then we did the minor chordal double stops. And then today, we're going to do minor double stops in lead playing. Very similar to what we did in the minor rhythm double stops, right? But it's just more in a lead context. Great way also if you're in like a trio to add some fullness to your solos and stuff like that, because if it's just drums and bass, the more strings you can hit sometimes, the better. All right, so check it out. So if we're in A, right, we're just jamming A minor. The trick to double stops is just finding those chords, right? So in position 1, there's your position 1, right? And we have an A minor chord right in that position. You can do that version of it. Now there's lots of different ways you can do it. Now, one of the things that you want to think about is where do some of those, where multiple strings can kind of make that A minor sound. And this is just one way to think about it. You can use your whole scale in any way that you want to do double stops. But over chords and over a progression, it really sounds good if you're targeting the chords as they go by, right? So if we're taking A minor, one of the first and easiest places you can do it is on the G and B. And what you would do is you would take like the G and B 5th fret, and I'm always going to hammer to the lower string. That's just my thing. You don't have to do that, but that's typically what I do. I hammer to the lower of the two strings. Now the trick is you want to get that higher string ringing as well, so hence the double stop, two strings at once. Right? Now you can do more of 2 notes or a quick to where it sounds like one hit almost. Right? And then you can do the same thing, the 2 strings lower. Now when you go here and then back, that double stop, it's hitting the 3rd and the 5th of your A minor chord. So it's like a way to, right? You can do that same thing here, except this time when you hammer, you're hammering into one of your chord tones, your root and your 3rd. Right, so that may be like a way to transition down. And what I'm doing there is I'm hammering onto the 7th fret of the D and letting the 5th fret G ring. And then maybe slide down the rest in a single note fashion, right? Now, there's tons of ways to do it. You can roll over, right? So I would be doing double stop and then roll over to a single note. And then, right? So you got... Right? And it's just a way to add some extra weight, right, to your phrasing. And so there's that. There's the typical double stop where you might hear like ZZ Top-ish. Or Chuck Berry, that kind of. That's going to be targeting some of the notes of, say, if we're talking about all A minor chords, right? This is position 2. Right? So you can maybe slide up. It sounds cool when you just do kind of a chromatic slide, 1 fret. So I'm going to be sliding from 8 and 7 to 9 and 8. Right, and that's got an A minor chord tone right there. Right, here's my A minor in position 2. It's kind of that D shape, right? So we can... And then if I wanted to hammer in the rest of the chord tones, check this out. I just jump down to the 8th fret of the B and E and then do that double stop. Right? And then I've hit my whole A chord, A minor chord, in kind of a cool way. Right? And that's just a double stop, much like this one. Right? But just an octave higher. Right? So... And then, right, so that's kind of a whole phrase that you could do, right? And that might be how I might do a double stop in that particular, you know, spot. Now, there's also the double stop where you skip a string, kind of a la Stevie Ray. And you're hitting 2 notes at once. Now, to do that, you're going to have to skip a string. I like to hybrid pick it, where you're using your pick and your finger at the same time. But what you would do is bar the 5th fret, right? So you're going to have your 3rd and your root. Okay, and then I'm basically going to go up, hitting the G and the E at the same time. And then I'm going to throw on the blues note. Right? So maybe I do that, make a whole phrase out of it, right? Now that last part, I'm literally just sticking together, right? I'm not spreading apart the double stop, I'm staying in the same fret. So very Chuck Berry, right? So I'll maybe a half step bend on the 7th fret of the G and B. Go down to the 5th fret. Right? So maybe we got... Right? And so this is kind of a lead way to maybe announce the C and E. Say if our progression was... That might be a cool little way to do a little lick. Because if you think about it, you know, in a band situation, 9 times out of 10, the bass player's down hitting the low root or whatever. So you can use or if there's 2 guitar players, right? You can use double stops in kind of a lead fashion to fill in some other, you know, area that maybe the rest of the band isn't covering. So you can, you know, use these maybe in sort of like a tag to the song or like a reoccurring melody line. So it doesn't always have to be thought of just like a solo, but you are essentially still doing kind of lead lines. Right, and something like that. Now you can you can choke on camera, live for the world to see. But you could go up to like position 4, you know, and target the A minor here. And maybe you take the 3rd and you want to get to the root. Same thing as, but in a different spot. licks like that, right? So you're in a different spot. Maybe you're doing the exact same, double stop, but since you're in a different position, you have access to different types of licks and lead lines and stuff like that. So putting double stops in your phrasing is, especially in a major or minor context, is an awesome way to add some like thickness to your lead lines and stuff like that. So try it out. But, in doing that, take just one chord, go through maybe a couple of your positions, like positions 1, 2, and 4 of the pentatonic scale. These are super popular. Find out where, let's just take an A minor chord, would be in each. Position 1, maybe target the higher strings. There's our A minor chord in position 1. In position 2, our A minor chord is here. Right? And so look at where you can hammer into some of those chord tones. Right? Right that way. Position 4. So maybe you do it here. Or, right, you can hammer into the 5th. So you can be like, lead line like that. If you hammer here, position 5, keep in mind your A minor chords there. So, try using double stops. Man, it is addicting. I warn you now. Go back and check out the other lick of the days where we go over how to do it in a major context. And then coming up, we're going to take both the major and the minor chords and put them together in sort of a real world chord progression. Maybe we'll go over little major and minor double stops together in a lead because, let's face it, folks, when you start mixing major and minor pentatonic together, it's gold. It's the fun. It's where the fun's at. It's where the cool kids are. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't be afraid to check out brettpapa.com. That funds this whole operation and keeps the free videos coming. So I'll post that over here, brettpapa.com. Also, the subscription button is over here. If you subscribe, make sure to click the bell. I post at least 3 times a week. And then over here, I'll post some other goodies, some playlists and such. You're amazing. Thank you so much for the continued support. We'll catch you next time.